Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3 verse 5. These words don't hit you like thunder. They land soft, like the first quiet breath you manage to take after hours of spinning. They come in the middle of the fog, when the road ahead disappears and your own thoughts have run out of answers. If you're here right now and everything feels uncertain, if the future looks like a blank page you're terrified to write on, this verse was written for this exact moment. It's 3 in the morning again. Rain taps lightly against the window, but inside your chest there's a storm that won't quiet. You've been lying here replaying every choice that led you to this place. The job that fell through, the relationship that ended without warning, the diagnosis that still doesn't make sense, the dream you poured years into that now feels like it's slipping through your fingers. Your mind keeps circling the same questions. What if I made the wrong turn? What if I can't fix this? What if I never figure out who I am without this? The uncertainty sits heavy, like a weight on your ribs that makes every breath feel borrowed. You've tried to logic your way out. You've made the list, run the scenarios, prayed the desperate prayers that start with God, just tell me what to do. But the answers don't come on your timeline. And in the silence, the fear creeps in deeper. Fear that you're walking blind, that your own understanding has hit its limit, that maybe this time the path really is gone. You're not alone in this. So many of us are carrying the same quiet ache right now. The mom who doesn't know how she'll keep the lights on next month, while the kids ask questions she can't answer. The college graduate watching every plan dissolve after years of perfect grades and late nights. The person in the middle of a move, a divorce, a loss, a calling that suddenly feels too big and too fragile all at once. The one whose faith feels tired because trusting has started to feel like free falling with no net in sight. Profound uncertainty doesn't knock politely. It shows up in the middle of the night and stays until something shifts inside you. It shows up in the doctor's waiting room, in the empty inbox, in the quiet house after the last goodbye. It shows up when the promotion you prayed for goes to someone else, when the savings you counted on disappear, when the future you pictured no longer matches the life you're living. And right here in the middle of that fog, Proverbs 3 verse 5 doesn't rush in with easy answers. It doesn't tell you to pull yourself together or figure out faster. It meets you exactly where you are, lost, exhausted, heart pounded with questions, and offers something that feels different when everything else has failed. Let's sit with it for a minute. Really sit with it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, not just part of it, not the safe, cleaned up corners you're willing to hand over when life is smooth. All of it. The part that's terrified of tomorrow, the part that's angry at how things turned out, the part that's numb from trying too hard for too long, the part that wonders if God even hears anymore. This isn't a command to feel brave or positive or strong. It's an invitation to stop pretending you have to be any of those things. Because when uncertainty strips away every illusion of control, your heart is already raw and honest and wide open. And that's exactly where trust can finally begin, not as a performance, but as a simple, trembling yes. And lean not on your own understanding. This is a line that hits different when life stops making sense. When your own understanding, the thing you've always relied on to map the future, to solve problems, to keep you safe, has run out of road. You've read the books, listened to the podcasts, asked the mentors, prayed until your voice was hoarse. You've analyzed every angle, replayed every conversation, calculated every possible outcome, and still the path stays hidden. The verse doesn't shame you for trying so hard. It gently takes your hand and says, it's okay that your map is blank right now. You were never meant to walk this part alone. Your own understanding is limited. It only sees what's behind you and what's right in front of you. It can't see the detours that will one day make sense. It can't see the doors that had to close so better ones could open. It can't see the version of you waiting on the other side of this fog, the stronger, wiser, more compassionate you that the season is quietly shaping. In the moments when leaning on your own understanding feels like leaning on a broken railing over a deep canyon, this verse becomes a quiet place to rest. It doesn't erase the uncertainty. It doesn't make the questions disappear overnight. It doesn't magically fix the bank account or heal the relationship or clear the medical report, but it shifts something deep inside. It reminds you that trust isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to keep walking even while the fear is still whispering. It's believing that the same God who led his people through deserts and storms and impossible situations is still leading you. Maybe not with flashing neon sign or a 5-year plan, but with a steady, unseen hand on your back. Think about it. When everything is certain and the road is clear, it's easy to trust in the Lord with part of your heart and still lean pretty hard on your own plans. You check the boxes, follow the steps, feel in control. But when profound uncertainty comes, when the diagnosis is uncertain, the finances are uncertain, the future's uncertain, something tender happens. The verse stops feeling like nice advice on a coffee mug and starts feeling like a lifeline thrown into stormy waters. Because now you're not just saying words, you're living them. You're learning what it really means to trust with all your heart when your heart is breaking. You're discovering that leaning not on your own understanding isn't giving up or being passive. It's the bravest kind of surrender. And somewhere in that surrender, a strange peace begins to settle. Not the loud, happy kind you see on social media. The quiet kind. The kind that lets you fall asleep even when the questions are still there. The kind that feels like someone is holding the weight you've been carrying alone for months. This is why Proverbs 3 verse 5 feels different during times of profound uncertainty. In the easy seasons, it can sound like good advice. In the hard seasons, it becomes a promise you cling to with everything you have left. It meets the exhaustion without demanding you feel better first. It meets the loneliness without telling you to just be more social. It meets the overthinking without shaming the racing thoughts. It meets the heartbreak without rushing you to move on. It simply says, I see you, I'm here. You don't have to carry this by yourself anymore. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to see the full path. You only have to take the next step with an open heart. And he promises to make your path straight. Not necessarily easy, not necessarily fast, not without tears or detours, but straight in the way that matters most. Straight toward hope, straight toward healing, straight toward the person he's shaping you to become. Straight toward the places where your story will one day help someone else who feels exactly like you do right now. So tonight, right where you are, try it with me. Close your eyes for a second. Feel the weight on your chest. Instead of trying to push it away or solve it or analyze it one more time, hand it over, telling the fears out loud or in the quiet of your heart. I don't understand this. I'm scared. I don't know what to do next. I feel lost. That's all. That's enough. No fancy words required. Then breathe. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Let your shoulders drop just a little. Lean not on your own understanding. Let the questions rest for a moment. He's not asking you to fix anything tonight. He's simply asking you to trust him with what you can't fix. You are not lost. You are being led. Even when the road feels invisible, even when your own understanding has failed you, even when the uncertainty feels like it might swallow you whole, he is making your path straight in ways you can't see yet. He is working in the quiet. He is holding the pieces you thought were broken beyond repair. He is preparing mercy for tomorrow that you haven't even imagined. Tomorrow will still have questions. The fog may still be there when the sun comes up. The ache may still sit in your chest. But tonight, you can rest in the truth that you are held. You are seen. You are deeply loved in the middle of the unknown. The same God who wrote these words to Solomon all those centuries ago, when his own kingdom faced uncertainty, his heart knew the weight of leadership and loss, is speaking them straight to your weary heart right now. He sees every tear you cried in the dark. He hears every silent scream of why. He knows the battles nobody else sees. And he is not finished with you, not even close. So breathe a little deeper. Let the rain outside remind you that even storms bring new life. Let the soft morning light that will eventually come whisper that new mercies are on the way. The morning will come with fresh mercy, just like it always does. But for right now, in this moment, you can let go. You can trust. You can lean into the arms that have never let you fall. You can let the verse wrap around your heart like a gentle hand on your shoulder in the dark. If this message found you in the middle of profound uncertainty, take a moment and just stay here. You're safe. You're not alone. You're exactly where you need to be for God to do what only He can do. God sees the battles nobody else sees. And He is with you. Right now, always, you can close your eyes. The path is still there. And until the fog lifts, rest in the one who never loses his way. You'll be okay, friend. You really are